Imagine waking up one morning in Europe almost 700 years ago, and your whole town feels different. The air is heavy, the streets are quiet, and whispers spread faster than the wind. People are scared, neighbors vanish, and strange rumors fly around about a deadly disease that no one understands. This wasn't just any sickness, it was the Black Death, one of the most terrifying plagues in history, and it completely changed the future of Europe forever. Now, you might be wondering, how could a disease rewrite history? Well, let's dive in, and I promise by the end of this story, you'll see how one invisible enemy reshaped entire nations, economies, and even the way people thought about life itself. The Black Death began in the mid-1300s, traveling along trade routes that connected Europe with Asia. Imagine merchants carrying silk, spices, and goods across continents. Along with those treasures came something far more dangerous: rats hiding in ships, and fleas hiding on those rats. Tiny creatures, carrying something deadly, the plague bacteria. Most people didn't even know germs existed back then, so they had no clue how it spread. To them, it felt like a curse, a punishment, or even the end of the world. Picture this: you live in a busy city in Italy, France, or England. One day you hear church bells ringing more often than usual. At first, you think it's just normal services, but then you realize they're ringing because so many people are dying. The Black Death struck fast. People would wake up feeling fine, and by evening, they could be gone. Strange black swellings would appear on their skin, fevers raged, and fear spread faster than the plague itself. It's hard to imagine now, but some towns lost half of their population in just months. Half. Think about your classroom, your neighborhood, or even your family. What if suddenly half the people you know disappeared? That's how shocking and devastating the plague was. Historians estimate that between 25 to 50 million people in Europe died within just a few years. That's like wiping out entire countries today. But here's where the story gets really surprising. Even though the Black Death was tragic and terrifying, it also reshaped Europe in ways nobody expected. For one, there weren't enough workers left to farm the land, run the markets, or build cities. Suddenly, workers were more valuable than ever. If you were a farmer or a carpenter, you could actually demand better wages and better conditions. Imagine if tomorrow your boss doubled your salary because there weren't enough employees left. That's what happened across Europe. This shift gave common people more power, something that was rare in medieval times. Before the plague, most people were tied to the land under feudal lords, but after, many gained freedom. Entire villages could bargain for better treatment. It was like the social pyramid started to crack. And then there's another twist: because so many people died, land and houses became available. Families who survived suddenly inherited wealth, land, and property. It was a tragic lot. People lost loved ones, but some gained opportunities that had never existed before. The old rigid system of kings, nobles, and peasants started to weaken, paving the way for something new. Religion also took a huge hit. The church was supposed to guide and protect people, but the plague didn't stop even when people prayed or followed holy rituals. Many began to question their faith. Some turned more religious, believing the plague was God's punishment, while others lost trust in the church's power. This doubt planted seeds for big changes centuries later, like the Protestant Reformation. Culture changed too. Art and literature from this time became obsessed with death and survival. You might have seen paintings with skeletons dancing or grim reminders that life is short. But out of that darkness also came a stronger appreciation for life, for science, and eventually, for progress. The Renaissance, the explosion of art, science, and new ideas, was born not long after, and the Black Death was part of the reason people were ready to think differently. Let me ask you something. Have you ever thought about how something invisible, like a germ, could change the entire course of history? The Black Death didn't just kill people, it destroyed old systems, shook up economies, and forced people to imagine a different future. In a strange way, It cleared the path for modern Europe to be born. And think about this when we look at more recent times, like the COVID-19 pandemic, we can see echoes of the same pattern. Suddenly, we worked differently, thought differently, and adapted to survive. History shows us that crises, as painful as they are, often push humanity to grow in new directions. So, the Black Death wasn't just a dark chapter in history. It was also a turning point. It showed how fragile societies can be, but also how strong and adaptable people are. From the ashes of one of the deadliest plagues in human history came new ideas, fairer opportunities for workers, and the foundation for a modern Europe. As we wrap up this journey through the past, I want you to imagine standing in a medieval street, watching people rebuild their lives after such enormous loss. They didn't know it at the time, but they were shaping the future we live in today. And that's the amazing thing about history. It reminds us that even in the darkest times, change and hope are possible. If you found this story eye-opening, give this video a like so more people can discover it. Leave a comment sharing what surprised you most about the Black Death, and don't forget to subscribe for more history stories told in simple, fun ways. Because history isn't just about the past, it's about us, learning how we got here, and imagining where we can go next.